welcome to the Todd and Erin Daily Stream. Today, something to solve a problem. Let's say, hypothetically, that you were going to go camping, and then suddenly, perhaps, a mother-in-law of yours' basement floods, and you can't go camping.
And you're the best son-in-law in the world.
Imagine, allegedly, that happened. So the kids are like,
What happened to the s'mores?
We want s'mores.
We're going to do s'mores over the campfire.
This is what we're doing, s'mores today in a skillet, a black skillet pan.
You want to use a cast iron skillet, and skillet s'mores are to die for. Now here's a couple of tricks. Number one, you need to make sure that you've sprayed it, because otherwise the graham cracker sticks. So what we're going to do is just layer the bottom.
Go slow. We got stories to tell.
All right, we're going to start by layering the bottom with graham crackers.
So anyway, what I want to talk about is the gender reveal thing, because it's gotten totally out of hand, and evidently the person who invented it.
Yes. Jenna Karvutis is a Los Angeles blogger, and she was one who was credited with creating the gender reveal party. And for all of us on Pinterest, we all know this has gone horribly out of control. Horribly. Well, she was expecting her first child in 2008, and she wanted to have a party. And the party was covered by Bump magazine, the baby magazine, because, you know, she's a cool blogger. And she said, okay, I'm going to try this. She said what she did was very simple. She did one of the cakes.
What do you mean?
The pink or the blue cake where it's all frosted. And
they explode?
And then you just cut into it, and it's either pink
It's launched by a catapult?
No, you just cut into it, it's pink or blue.
It's dropped off a high building.
She says, I have a lot of mixed feelings about my random contribution to the culture. It just exploded into crazy after that. Literally, guns firing, forest fires.
Shotgun shells.
And she said now the emphasis on the gender for a baby seems like it's never been more necessary. And she said, it's been a decade since I did this. And she said, who cares what gender the baby is? I did it at the time because we didn't live in 2019 and didn't know what we know now, that assigning focus on gender at birth leaves their potential and their talents with the realization that they don't have anything to do with what's between their legs. It's just identifying the baby as a thing, a gender. She says, please don't do it anymore. And she says, and I'm tired of the news calling me every time somebody sets something on fire.
They've had some horrible ones. And medieval times, it meant it was really good because it meant an heir to the king.
Mm-hmm, which is awesome. Congratulations,
so
yay. But
my favorite one was...
Did you care if ours were boys or girls?
No. My favorite one was the guy with a huge truck with a big diesel pipes exhaust, and he loaded them evidently with pink powder, and then from the outside of his car he starts his truck up, and he opens the door and reaches down and just punches the gas pedal. Well, pink smoke comes out.
Super dramatic.
The truck goes into gear and drives into the river.
Then there was that guy who decided to use explosives to celebrate the gender reveal of his child and set, I think it was like a quarter of Texas on fire.
Yeah. Gentle.
Really,
gentle.
Even the cake is fine. Do the cake, but really, we don't have to get out of control.
Now here's a new thing with the pharmacist.
I'm very excited about this. Pharmacists at Associated Food Stores around Utah are now able to prescribe and dispense birth control, which is a big freaking deal. Access, of course, to male prophylactics has always been a relatively easy thing, but for women to have control over birth control and planning a family has been a big deal. So Associated Food Stores just announced today the addition of the new birth control services. You can visit an Associated Food Store, consult with a qualified pharmacist, and then receive up to 12 months of hormonal contraceptives. That way you don't have to go to a doctor.
And you pay for it, obviously.
Well, it's part of your insurance, or it's a nominal fee. And so no doctor's visits, and you don't have to go through all this extra stuff. Mm-hmm. So I just think that's really cool. The enhanced birth control services are available for women over 18. You get a low-cost consultative fee, complete a health questionnaire, get blood pressure readings, and work with a pharmacist, and then they'll kind of go over it with you and try to figure out which system would work best for you.
Cool. So what do we do next?
All right, next is the chocolate. Now, chocolate tends to be too thick to just put on like a whole slab and cover everything. So what we do is we'll just put on little bits of chocolate all over it so that it's uniformly covered.
Wait, this is going to turn out like a pancake.
It's going to be super tasty.
This is going to come out in one chunk, is that right?
Well, no, you can. Some people actually just do the chocolate and the marshmallow and then scoop it out with the graham crackers, but I have never not scorched the chocolate when I did it that way.
See, I'm so confused, because I would think if you did the individual ones, and then if you took, one of the little torches you get, And you could...
Do you have a creme brulee torch?
No, but I have a propane torch in the garage. The same thing. And then you can burn the edges so it tastes more like a campfire.
Go on, honey. What story did you have?
Let's not bathe.
What?
Let's not bathe.
Okay, it's like early August and it's like 102 today. I think that's a
David
terrible plan.
Whitlock
Okay.
has not showered or bathed in 15 years.
Is he married?
It doesn't say.
Yeah, I wonder. What a surprise.
He said it was a little strange for the first few months, but after that he stopped missing it.
Go on.
I'm not sure I want to.
No. By all means, we're not eating yet.
To
Keep
get
going.
specific about my body parts, then I wash that specific part. But never with soap, just for water, because he's growing germs and microbes on his body.
Explain the microbe thing.
The skin oil, the protective skin oil, alters its pH if you use soap. He gets 15 minutes extra every day by dodging soap, and doesn't have to talk to anybody because everybody dodges him. It's a symbiotic harmony. The bacteria gets to feast on the ammonia from his sweat, and he gets low maintenance, balanced skin.
So he's saying that there is some sort of combination of the pH in his body that takes care of the odor, as long as he just rinses off.
Boom and probiotic and fermented foods and supplements. This is important in your gut as well as on your skin.
I had no idea skin could be probiotic. I thought that was digestive.
So basically, people of this... Now, we worked with someone who had an issue with deodorant. And evidently never got to the state that David did of being, wow, smelling. So this is a movement. Some people do it. They say it takes a while for it to take effect. And during that time, yes, you will be slightly...
Malodorous.
Is that a word?
Malodorous? Yes, of course it's a word.
Use it in a sentence.
On a day where the high was 102, the malodorous nature of her unwashed friends was unbearable for Susan. Period.
Nice job. In Scrabble, that's worth a lot. So anyway, that's the new movement. Don't do it. Okay, there you go. And scrub yourself with kale.
Okay. Next, of course, we're going to start putting the marshmallows on top of the chocolate. Keep going.
And you put them everywhere?
Mm-hmm.
Are you putting lids on this?
No, because you want it to puff up and brown nicely in the broiler. That's the whole point, because when you're over a fire, you want like a nice toasted brown marshmallow. And that's what makes it crispy and super tasty.
So
right?
are there no graham crackers going to go on top?
No, you can do that afterwards.
Oh, so we need more graham crackers.
I have them over there. Keep going, dear.
All right. I would like to talk about the luckiest diver in the world.
Okay.
And even though Shark Week was last week on the Discovery Channel, I find this a very interesting story. There was a gentleman down in where? Florida. And what was he doing? Diving. Where was he diving? In the ocean. And he bumped into a shark that was just not as friendly as you would think. He was chewed up from head to stern.
I thought this was about a lucky diver.
It is. They got him on the arm, they got him on the shoulder, they got him on the side, they got him on the leg, and they got him on the foot. All on the same side, because like you're eating a piece of corn, right? But you're a shark. And the corn's wiggling, screaming underwater. So the guy gets up to the surface, he's surfacing and stuff, and here comes a boat. A fishing boat. They were out on a fishing journey. And they were like, oh my gosh, that guy's, wow, he's got a pool of blood around
Who's
him.
that guy thrashing and screaming and bleeding?
We better grab him. And they pull him in, and they pull him into a boat full of nurses.
No way.
Everyone on the boat, except for the captain, were nurses. Operating room nurses, emergency nurses, all this.
So we just got a grip rolling up their sleeves like,
They
come
just
here.
grab them, they start tearing off their clothes and putting tourniquets on everywhere, and they got him back to shore in 30 minutes. They
And he
got him,
survived?
and he survived it. And they stopped the bleeding, and it was bad.
Wow.
And then some other nurses spent the next 4 days putting them back together again. It was that crazy.
I still not sure that counts as lucky, but I'm going with fortuitous.
I think it's amazing.
Because I think being eaten by the shark in the first place sucks, but everything after that was super good.
So I think that that teaches us. Some people decide to stay in the boat for safety. Mm-hmm. One of these, the next story that I'm going to tell you, Tacoma, Washington, they were doing a fishing derby, and it was a fun one.
Now explain a fishing derby to me.
A fishing derby is they go out and they have a representative of the tournament, usually, they do now, in the boat with a bass fisherman or whatever. In this case, it was saltwater. Mm-hmm. And they go out, and every time they bring in a fish, the official weighs the fish and throws it back in the ocean. They used to have them bring all the fish in, weigh them, and see if they lived, and they all got brain damage because they'd been out of water too long.
That's not fair.
So anyway, so they're measuring and they're throwing it, and it's a kind of a fun thing. So they also have a contest, a photo contest. So if you have really fun, crazy, oh, look at me, I'm catching a fish, look, I'm kissing him, they do that. Well, one of the ladies snagged an octopus. And so she's
well played, sister.
Reeling it. She finally gets it up and gets the hook out and stuff like that. And she goes, "This would be a great photo. Get your camera." And so someone got their camera up like that, and she stuck it on her face. Of course, it sucked onto her face.
You know, the one really super hard part of the octopus is the beak, which is at the center.
Parrot? Like
and it's
a parrot.
Extraordinarily sharp.
Well, what is it used for? Let's see. Prying over
clamshells and oysters.
Mussels and crabs.
So
and
it's a
all
very
that stuff.
sharp beak.
And it buried it right in her chin. And it did it like 3 times. Now, along with the pain,
I really can't help but not blame the octopus here.
But you still have to get the thing off your face, right? So she gets it off her face, and she goes, "You know what? I'm just going to bandage it up." She puts some butterfly stitches
you had
on
a
it.
Beak on your nose.
And then she goes and she fishes.
She's still fishing?
For 2 days.
Wow, that's butch.
Suddenly she realized something is not right. Because the octopus also have venom. And then what they do is they stun their prey. And the prey goes, "Oh, I guess you're just going to eat me now. I can't move." And so she ends up going to the hospital where she was in pretty severe situation. She is now home resting, and she has 3 different antibiotics pumping through her system through an IV.
Well, I respect her totally butch nature of continuing on with the fishing tournament after having the beak in her chin. Mm-hmm. It does seem like perhaps with her lack of knowledge of octopi, maybe she might have studied up a tad more after being mauled by one and perhaps have found out the whole thing about the venom.
Do you want to talk about Chocolate Villa now?
I'm very excited.
Or put this in the oven first?
Well, this is the Week of Chocolate in honor of Chocolate Villa, which is a women's executive retreat. It's going to be September 8th through the 12th up in Heber Valley. I'm hoping Mike's going to show you a picture of this place because it's heart-stopping. Now, this is all-inclusive. This is food. This is where you're staying. It's all the activities. It's all the coaching. But you come out of this thing feeling like you can lift up the building and walk away with it. I'm so excited to go.
This is like the next move in your life.
What's your next?
If you're on the corporate ladder, how to get to the next. If you're not there, how do you get on the ladder? In your own business, how you do it?
Yeah, if you're between jobs, where do you want to go next? I mean, it's really inspiring.
3 days?
3 days, 4 nights, and it's incredible.
And don't they have coaching afterwards and stuff available?
Continues on, yes, so there's support. But these women are freaking amazing. I had a chance to talk to Marilee Buchanan, who is one of the founders and the CEO of Villa Executive. And this woman, I mean, she's amazing.
Well, let's see.
So when they're going home, and they're all hugging goodbye at the door of Chocolate Villa, and you're saying goodbye and you're waving, what do you want to see them going home with?
I want them to go home with inspiration, their energy raised, this belief in themselves that they can do the things that they envision for their lives, and know how to garnish the support they need, know how to kind of lay out a plan, and know what they're going to do the next day. All right, and that's what we do. And it's honestly, we're not a big rah hold your feet to the fire. Nobody's going to call you up and say, "Why haven't you met your goal?"
We're very disappointed in you.
We're not like that at all. We're not a hard sell. What we are is helping you figure out if things aren't working, what's getting in the way. Let's take a look at that. And so we try to bring an element of support and follow up and checking in and saying, how are you doing? What are you doing? And and the women really develop a network in this thing. And I would say that that's one of the most powerful things about this. We find out later that we've moved on from that group, and they're still getting together. They're still getting on calls together. We have people 10 years later, who are saying, "Oh yes, we connect every month with our partner, our group." Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. One of the things I'm excited about this particular retreat in September is that I know traditionally you get women from all over the world. I mean, we've talked about the challenges of teaching women leadership in the Middle East or, down in Africa or a million other places. But I'm excited by the fact that even though you're traditionally international, this is really for a lot of Utah women, that we can get a lot of local women into this retreat. And I think that will make it easier to network later on and kind of have that support group. Because you're right, it's like meeting with other young mothers, so you can go, am I insane that I feel this? And they're like, no, you're not crazy. That's the way it is. But this time it'll be for leadership and support and moving forward. I mean, that's really cool to me.
Right.
There it is. What are we calling
gorgeous.
this? What do you call it?
They're skillet s'mores. And literally, all you want to do is just brown the top of the marshmallows, because the chocolate will melt, even if it looks like it's holding its shape. If you do it too much, then the graham crackers either scorch or they get soggy, which is gross. But this was literally maybe a minute. You just babysit it.
Yeah, you got to watch it.
But look how perfect it is. So look.
You're going to pick one up?
I know you've got to be inspired by Marilee. If you think you'd like to join us at the Women's Executive Retreat in September, it is September 8th through the 12th. And this is all inclusive. Everything is included in this: room, board, all the activities,
too, right?
all the coaching. They have a chef at the villa. It's amazing. But it's an incredible chance to work with other women and really develop what you want to be for your next. And I'm desperate for that for me. So if you want it, you can get 10% off by just putting Todd and Erin, all capital letters, at checkout when you book your spot. And this is the time to do it, because they can only accept 12 more women. So.
Would you like to burn the roof of your mouth?
Chocolatevilla.com. That would be helpful. Chocolatevilla.com.
For you.
Thank you, honey.
You got it?
This is so perfect. Yes, and the graham crackers
So
are
remember,
perfect.
if your camping trip gets spoiled, there.
This is perfect.
If your camping trip gets postponed, you can always do this for the kids. We'll see you tomorrow on the Todd and Erin Daily Stream.
I'm going to eat this whole skillet.
I can't believe
Don't tell Joey it's out.
It
Okay?
browned under the broiler, but it's 550 degrees. But look at it. Do I need to go hide these now? Yeah, pretty much. Okay. All right. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm not hiding them in the garage.
Try that.
Just so
so
you know,
good.
I already know what it tastes like. I was a Boy Scout.